A few months before COVID-19 became a topical issue globally, the most topical issue in Ghana had to do with excavators and Galamsey. 97.3 Citi FM started a campaign called Stop Galamsey Now. It led government to move in and act. An interministerial committee on illegal mining was set up. Excavators that were used by illegal miners and small-scale miners were seized by the government. Many people were happy. The government was working. Indeed, that's what people thought. But a few months before COVID, the question arose. The people are back at the mining sites. That's not all. The 500 excavators that were seized, where are they? The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng, who chairs the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, was quoted as saying the excavators had disappeared. Everybody in the country was looking for the excavators. Citi News was looking for the excavators. On the Citi Newsroom, I traveled to Adenta and discovered a group of excavators. This was the story at the time. Well, I'm inside the yard now, the aviation land where these excavators have been parked. And it's a sea of excavators, a simple color of yellow excavators that have been parked without drivers, without anybody moving them. What we have been told is that these excavators are part of several other hundreds of excavators that have been impounded in various mining sites across the country. And they were brought here for safekeeping. I could say I've counted up to 88 excavators. It could be maybe a margin of error of 3 or I'm not sure. But that's how many I have counted here. I'm told the excavators that were brought here are more than the number we have here. I'm told some of them have been moved from this site. We do not know who did the moving, and we are not even sure what the arrangements have been. Suffice it to say, these ones have been parked here on a private property at the aviation area or aviation land in Adenta. But after several months of inaction, Citi News picked up information that excavators were being stolen and sold by persons we are not really sure of. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources moved to this place, the Honorable Kweku Asuma. He was livid with the happenings at the time and made some strong comments about the excavators. Let's remember again quickly what he said. When did these vehicles switch hands to you?
You see, at law, the law is being very clear and certain from day one that the law was promulgated. Not me only. The machines ought to have been under my predecessor, Peter Amewu. And then, even at the time that my brother, the NDC man, Fuseni, was there, the seized equipment ought to have been under his care. Whoever, from the date that the law was promulgated, such, yes, ought to have.
Well, it's been several months since Citi News came down to this site to track the excavators. It's been 5 months, as a matter of fact. We're in July. And today, the excavators still are parked, abandoned in this yard. There are people who are supposed to be taking care of them, sitting under canopy just at the entrance of the gate. But that's not all. Weeds are growing under the excavators. Now, spare parts may loosen up because no activity is happening, no oiling is happening. This is heavy machinery that needs servicing. They haven't been serviced since they were brought here. The theft may have stopped, as in the theft of grand caterpillars or heavy machinery. But what we are picking up from locals here is that the minute spare parts of these excavators are being stolen or looted and sold. What that would mean is that if the owners of these excavators eventually secure a court order that says the excavators be given back to them, these excavators would have been destroyed. The state would have to cough up money to pay them. Indeed, we have no clear direction as to what government plans to do with excavators. They have not been given to the district assemblies for use in the communities. They have not been returned to their original owners. They have not been auctioned for Ghanaians to purchase them if they so want. And definitely they have not been deployed to the roads ministry to use in the road sector. What is going to happen to these excavators? But what can you do with a seized excavator? Lots of these excavators belong to persons who were hitherto working in the mines. Some were doing so illegally, others maintain they were doing so legally, but the excavators still got seized anyway. This group of miners are unhappy and want their excavators returned to them.
In mining, we all know that 90% of the work being done is with the excavator, and these machines have been taken from us. Government says it's fighting illegal mining. There's a ban on importation of excavators. It's only few people that can also import excavators. And now that we are in dire need of excavators, those people who are able or who have been able to import machines are selling these machines to us in an outrageous prices. That is killing our business as well. But as a matter of fact, the broader picture is a big problem that we also have to have a critical look at. Those machines you see being packed in these places, that they are also keeping these machines. People are making money on the sales of the parts of these machines. You will see these machines there. By the time you get closer to the machine, you see that the engine, the hydraulic pump, the injectors, and expensive parts on these machines have been sold or taken out. So you can see that an excavator has been packed. But when you take a critical look on these machines, some people are also selling the parts, because now they can't sell the whole machines. They are now engaged in selling of the machine parts. And we want the government to also take a critical look on this machine.
Still, in the spirit of abandoned vehicles, just next door from the excavators, indeed just 200 meters from the excavators, there's a park that contains or has these buses. Up to 20 of the buses, as I count. These are part of the GAPTI project, the Ayalolo buses as they are called, the BRT buses. 10 months ago, my colleague from the Citi Newsroom, Philip Nilati, followed up on the abandonment of these buses. He was given an assurance by the company that they were going to utilize this particular terminal, which was built with the taxpayers' money. Let me bring you a quick flashback and then we assess the situation today.
Decided to start a new service from the terminal, the new terminal that was built by Ministry of Transport for the transit service. So we're going to start on the 2nd of September from Adenta. We'll be doing 3 services from Adenta to the Accra CBD. One service will start from the terminal, that is the Adenta terminal. One will start from the housing area, Adenta housing area. And the third service will start from the West Africa Senior High School area.
So that was a story at the time, and that was a promise that was made. But today, the situation hasn't changed. Well, this is not a grassland. It's actually a tiled or pavement compound belonging to the Ministry of Transport. The GAPTI, operators of the Ayalolo buses, parked these buses here. These buses have been parked here for some months now. We're told the terminal was going to be utilized. This is the Adenta terminal. But really no activity is happening here. To my left, there's a huge building with glass windows, and nobody is moving around or doing any business here. These buses themselves that are parked here have no drivers. GAPTI officials tell us these buses are being deployed every now and then. But for these 20 buses, they've been parked here on Wednesday, the whole of the day, as we've been spending the day here observing whether they're moving or out. Locals are saying these buses do not move out. What exactly is the state of affairs? If this place were operational, this grass wouldn't be growing here. These buses, having been moving in and out, would definitely have led to the death of these grasses. This actually would open the gaps in the pavement tiles, and that would lead to another cost. The building looks pretty abandoned from afar. I'm going to attempt to open the door. So this door is locked. I am unable to open it. I don't see people around here, no drivers. There are windows that are open upstairs. Perhaps there are people in there, perhaps using the back door But suffice it to say, the activity that you expect from a bus terminal is not what is happening here. This looks like a cemetery with parked buses. Buses that were bought for you and I by the government of Ghana using our taxes. A clear case of an abandoned project, perhaps, or an abandoned service. What does the operators of these buses, that's the GAPTE themselves, plan to do with these buses? Why are they parked them? What's going to happen in that particular office? I've come to speak to Charles Annan. He's a depot manager of the GAPTE. Is that a proper title? What's happening? Adenta looks like a cemetery. I mean, the Adenta terminal. What's the problem?
The reason why Adenta, you say it that way, was that recently we had a fire outbreak in the offices. That is the operational headquarters. But due to the fire outbreak, we had to excuse the place for the renovation works to complete. Currently, they are almost about 85% of the renovation works, and we are waiting for that to also be able to clean the compound. The ministry have given the facility to a facility manager who is managing it, so we are in talks with the facility manager. He has started some works, actually clearing the weedy grass areas, and now on the compound we are going to spray and make the places ready for the Ministry of Transport to commission it for us to use it fully for the Ayalolo bus operations.
When do you hope this will happen?
The minister himself has reiterated his desire for both the Accra terminal and the Adenta terminal to be fully functional before the end of this year. So our leaders are in talks with the ministry to actually finalize on the modalities for the commissioning to be done. So I would expect to hear from my bosses, then I can speak to on a definite date where it will be open.
So the fire outbreak may affect the usage of the building, but it should not affect the buses which are mobile. These buses look like they've been parked there forever. They should be able to move. The fire hasn't affected the buses.
Okay, so that is why I explained to you that before COVID, all those buses were operational. It was COVID that we grounded.
Yeah, but during COVID, you're supposed to maintain social distancing. Ayalolo has the best social distancing seats in it. Yes. So this should be the time you're booming.
Okay, so last week at our last board meeting, the board requested that henceforth there were issues with the health workers. Now, you know the COVID situation, the numbers are going up. And the government is concerned about health workers closing from work and joining usual traffic. It could even escalate the numbers. So at our last board meeting, the board chairman requested that we should deploy the services dedicated to the health facilities. So currently, if you go to Kolebu, we are applying all the major corridors from and to Kolebu. Kolebu have their set of buses running. Tema General Hospital have their set of buses running. Yesterday, I finished a meeting with Ridge Hospital. On Monday, we are deploying for the health nurses in Ridge. By 1st August, Dodowa Hospital and all other health facilities within the Gama area are going to have dedicated buses tailored to their health workers. Morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift. So these are ongoing and new hospitals are being brought in. From tomorrow, those buses you saw at Adenta, they are going to the workshop for routine maintenance, for washing, for cleaning, making it ready for deployment.
Very well.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's the operations depot manager for the Ayalolo Bus Company, or GAPTE as it is called, the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive. The promise has been made. Trust us here on the Citi Newsroom to track these promises for you on Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Thank you for being with us.